This broadcast is a Stephen K. Media production.
The success of the small business person is the cornerstone of the American economy. Welcome to the Small Business Today Show with your hosts, Cruz and Hughes. The Small Business Today Show is for and about small business advancement and development. What we do for you. We'll be taking your calls as we provide you small business intelligence and mentorship needed to grow your business creatively. Keep listening. The Small Business Today Show with Cruz and Hughes starts now.
Hello and welcome back to today's episode of Small Business Today with Cruz and Hughes right here on Blog Talk Radio. We also stream live every day from 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. Central Standard Time at ustream.tv. This is the place where we discuss the topics that inspires entrepreneurs from thought to action. If you want to join the conversation, we encourage your calls. We encourage your questions and your participation. You can always call us here in the studio at 347-857-3958. Again, that number is 347-857-3958. Irv.
Yes, sir.
How was your day today, sir?
Great day today, man. The word of the day, John, is action.
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 It's my favorite word of all time.
It is the favorite word of this show. Action.
Action.
Yeah. If you are not in action, that means you are in park.
Yeah, you're in inaction.
You're in inaction. And guess what? If you're listening to Small Business Today or you watching us on ustream.tv, one of the things that we're going to tell you is you need to be in action. Because guess what? When you're not in action, John, you cannot even you can't meet all the people you're supposed to meet.
That's right.
You can't even get in the opportunities you're supposed to get to.
No, you cannot.
Because those opportunities are not at your office.
That's right. You got to get out there where business is being done.
You got to get out where business is being done. And guess what I learned today?
What's that?
That when business is not being done and you're there, business can be done. Did you know that?
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, you can. If you're there in a place where business is not being done, but you're there, and perhaps no one else is there, business can still be done. You know why?
How so?
Because you can communicate with people who want to do some business.
And how would you do that? If you're the only one there.
Smoke signals, carrier pigeon, beat drums.
Email,
that was
telephone.
Kind of ethnic, wasn't it? I got to be careful right there. But at any rate, whatever it is you need to do, you need to be doing business wherever you are. And, a lot of people think that ABS today stands for Anti-Lock Braking System. I say it stands for Always Be Selling.
Always be selling.
I know that's not good English. I should be using better English on
No, I think that your point is coming across quite clearly.
You think that's all right?
When you think about it, most small businesses that exist out here do not have a sales strategy, let alone a sales team.
No.
And, most people especially the ones that I talk to,
right?
The thing that they tell me is that, we survive on the fact that we have great service, or word of mouth,
what does that even mean?
Yeah, I mean, if you don't have great service out here, are you really in business?
Yeah, exactly. And here's the point. When I was talking about action, I'm not talking about a little bit of action. Everybody's doing a little bit of something. But my grandmother used to have this thing, John, where she would talk about half doing something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean by half?
Yeah.
Just almost doing it.
Yeah.
Doing something close to nothing, but, perhaps different than the day before.
Yeah, Prince wrote a song.
Yeah, like that
lyric in it.
That's exactly right. Yeah, that's what I mean. Half doing. He just didn't say half doing.
That's exactly what he was talking about.
Right. And, here's the point. If you're half doing something, who wants to do business with you? Because now you're going to spread the word that anyone who does business with you is half doing it.
Oh, of course.
Right?
Of course.
And nobody wants to do that. Everybody wants to do that with somebody that they believe is going to help them be successful in whatever it is that endeavor might be.
Surely. And
so the word of the day, John, is action.
Well, speaking of action, we have someone in the studio who knows quite a bit about the word action. If you are at a point in your business where things need to be turned around.
Yes.
You've been doing some things that have worked sometime.
Yep.
But you're ready to take a drastic step in your business, or you see the need that a drastic step needs to be taken because economies have changed. Your market has changed. technology has changed,
Ooh.
but you and your business have neglected to change. Well, this is the show for you. Our guest today is Miss Tony Harris, and she is known locally here as the Turnaround Queen. And we're going to talk about what needs to be done to take those drastic steps in your business. And we're also going to talk about some steps to turn your business around. And Tony, I want to say welcome back to the show.
Thank you. Thanks for having me again.
It's always
That's
a
right.
pleasure to have you here. You're our resident turnaround queen. So we have to bring you in from time to time to talk about those things that small business people, you know what? I'm going to go out on a limb and say that everyone knows what they should be doing.
Absolutely.
However, we need to pay someone to come in and consult us to tell us what we knew we should have been doing more of before we generally take that step and get out there and do it.
Yeah, I mean, we need help.
We do need help.
We need help. A lot of times we need help.
Or maybe it's confirmation.
Maybe it's confirmation.
Maybe it's confirmation.
Sometimes it's permission.
What you need is accountability.
That's right.
And that's what people are paying for. I know what's on my list of things to do.
Right.
But accountability and having a coach or someone that you're paying to hold you accountable makes you actually get it done.
Boy, isn't that the truth? And you know what? I always enjoy having Tony on the show. Last time she was on the show, and when you were talking about her, she was going to be a guest here in studio. I enjoy having you on the show, Tony. I really do, because you always give our listeners and even ourselves here at Cruz and Hughes and Small Business Today Radio, you always give us executable steps. It's not just the stuff. It's just not an information download. It's once you get the information, now what?
Right.
And you always make sure that when you're on this show and really everywhere else I've heard you give the steps. What are the steps going to be? And so I'm really excited to have you here today.
Well, thank you. And, if people take the time to dial in or go online and listen to your show, they should get some value.
Absolutely. Well, you certainly bring that. No doubt about it.
Thank you.
And you know what, folks, if you're listening to this show today and you have Tony Harris here, you have a resource like this, you ought to give us a call. Just call. I know you might not want to talk to John or myself, but you want to talk to Tony for sure. So, remember, you can give us a call at 347-857-3958, and don't be shy about doing that. And if you're really nervous about coming on the radio, you know what? Join us in the chat room. The chat room is open right now, so you can post your question there, and we'll make sure that we get your question answered.
Now, don't waste today's show. Don't waste Tony's time. You know that you need to put action into your business. And let's talk about some of those executable steps, Tony. First of all, let's talk about the economic downturn. Many people in small business have seen markets move away from them. Things have just changed in terms of how business is being done. There are a lot of people that are suffering. They can't get enough capitalization in their business to go out and exact the plans that they would normally want to do if they had all the money in the world to do it. Mm-hmm. But there are some things that you can do far and beyond just getting a bank loan that can change your entire outlook. And let's talk about some of those things today. So we're going to start out today talking about those 4 drastic steps that are necessary to turn your business around. These are things that you can do right now, starting today, starting now, and allow that opportunity and creativity to just flow into your organization. So, Tony, if you would please tell us just a little bit about number 1 on your list.
The first thing is we have to ask for help. And the first thing I thought of when you talked about the economic downturn and not being able to get the capital traditionally is that we sometimes have to ask for help and get it the non-traditional way.
Right.
There are angel investors out there. There are private investors that would love to know about you and your business and your project and be open to investing in you.
Mm-hmm.
And so one of the things I really stress to my clients is that you have to ask for help. So financially, you can ask for help. But the other thing you have to do is ask for help inside your business. Are there people that can be a resource for you? Can they introduce you to the right person? Can they invest in your business? Can they put some time in your business? And so, getting an intern. That's a good way to ask for some help. The problem is with entrepreneurs, we're so used to working on our own that we forget to ask. So we're like the hamster on the wheel. We're running around, and we're doing a lot of busy work. But there are people on the outside that if you just told them what you need, they would be there to help you and be a resource for you.
So Tony, why is that? Why do we do it like that?
Truthfully, I believe we were raised in a competitive world.
Gotcha.
And we have this spirit of, number one, we don't want people to know that we don't got it all together.
Gotcha.
That was bad English.
But that's
too,
all right.
wasn't it?
We're gonna come back to that. I'm gonna hold you right there while we do
Okay,
that.
all right.
Our guest today is Miss Tony Harris, and if you want to connect with Tony, you can go to her website, which is TonyHarrisSpeaks.com. Tony is known as the turnaround queen, and we're talking about those drastic steps that need to happen today, right now in your business to let that creativity and opportunity flow in. You're listening to Small Business Today with Cruz and Hughes. More in a moment, right after these messages.
Turn up the sales on your website today with anythinginternet.com. Anything Internet will evaluate your website for marketing power, for traffic, for conversion rates. We'll figure out why people buy and why people go away. We'll help you generate the correct traffic that will turn into customers and make you money. Turn the juice up on your website today with anythinginternet.com. Turn your website into a web business. 1-800-686-5986.
Very often, people come to me saying,
Stephen, how do I make radio advertising work?
or even worse,
We've tried radio ads before and got little to no response.
so how do you make the radio work for you? Well, you could have a clever jingle.
Come buy my stuff. Come buy my stuff.
Or you may act crazy and loud and have an unbeatable offer.
I'll save you cash, I'll save you time, and I'll do it today, guaranteed.
But these techniques may work for some and not for others. The real key to advertising is to go back to basic marketing principles. Target your ideal prospect, make your message clear and concise, and touch the listener by connecting to their needs. Stephen K. Media specializes in radio advertising promotion that effectively broadcasts your company's message, yielding higher response and better results. As an independent agency representing major talk radio stations, we help you negotiate rates and place your ads targeting your ideal prospect. Call us today at 713-278-9109 or visit stephenk.biz. That's 713-278-9109 or email info@stephenk.biz. Are you looking to improve your health and well-being? Have you lost your energy and vitality? Do you wake up feeling 10 years older than you actually are? Looking for a doctor who really listens? Looking for a natural alternative to your chronic health challenge? Dr. Dan Cooney is a chiropractic nutritionist who helps restore your health from the inside out using whole food supplements and specific nutritional counseling. Learn more about Dr. Dan's 7 Pillars of Health on his website, drdancooney.com, or give him a call at 713-295-9358.
Introducing the alternative to heavy news. Now,
Excuse me, heavy news?
you know, disasters, politics, stock market,
And this alternative is...
coffee news. It's entertaining stories, famous quotes, and family fun. It's light news. Why it's so light, it's free.
Free?
In restaurants and coffee shops all across Houston. So next time you're waiting in a restaurant, look for coffee news. If they don't have it, tell them to get it by visiting coffeenewshouston.com.
It's light. It's free. It's coffee news.
Now playing at Regal Entertainment Group Theaters.
From Christopher Nolan, the legend ends in IMAX. What are you? I'm Captain Directed. The Dark Knight Rises. Rated PG-13. Visit IMAX.com for showtimes and listings.
Go to www.regmovies.com to find showtimes and buy your tickets to this and other great feature films now. That's www.regmovies.com.
You're listening to Small Business Today. Visit us on the web at cruzandhughes.com. Here are your hosts, Cruz and Hughes.
Okay, welcome back to the show. Our guest today is Miss Tony Harris. Tony is known as the turnaround queen. We're talking about turning your business around, doing those things that call for you to take massive action right now today to change your situation. Now, Tony's also written a book.
That's right. Here it is right here. For those of you who are watching us on Ustream.tv, here's the book. Go and find it. This is what it looks like. This is Tony Harris right here. Well, that's okay. You can see her right here, right here on Cruz and Hughes. So here she is on Ustream.tv. So
the name of the book is called "Sometimes You Have to Take a Drastic Step," and we know as entrepreneurs that that's what entrepreneurship is all about. It's a drastic step to get into entrepreneurship. It's a drastic step to hire people. I mean, it's just perpetual drastic steps, but then sometimes we become a little gun shy. Sometimes we sort of get off track. And then that's when we bring in someone like Tony Harris to help get us back to where we were when we had that desire and that burning in the belly to start your business. Now, we talked about the first step, asking for help. And Tony, going into the commercial, you mentioned that some people are just afraid to not appear as though they have everything together. And that's why we don't ask for help. And I know I, too, have been at that point in my business when I couldn't figure things out. I looked at it as a sign of weakness if I went and asked someone, or a sign that I didn't know what I was doing. And I probably didn't.
And all the more reason to ask for help,
but as soon as I got to the point where I was confident enough to ask people for help, it's amazing how many people wanted to extend the olive branch and help me in some way in my business, tell me what I needed to know, introduce me to people who I needed to meet, and so I agree with that. Asking for help is step one. Now, you may not want to go out and ask a competitor, a direct competitor, but there are people who work in and around your business, someone who may be in your chamber of commerce that is willing to lend their knowledge and their resources to help you along in your business if you just ask.
And you know why people want to help? Because that's human nature. Truthfully, we really, God put us here to want to serve each other.
That's right.
And it really is human nature. Sometimes you run across those people that are extra competitive and they think if they give you one secret but truthfully, in my experience, I find that when I ask another business owner, entrepreneur to entrepreneur, straight up, hey, I need some help or else I'm going to go out of business.
Right.
They really do step up to help you. And so now the key there is when we ask for help, we have to take action on that help.
That's right.
And sometimes we'll ask for help, we get the advice, and then we do nothing.
And why is that? Why would somebody go to the trouble to actually ask for help, get the advice?
Fear. Fear.
But I would think it would be more fear to not know what to do. After an expert's told you what to do.
Well, here's the thing. You already know what to do.
Right.
I believe that every entrepreneur
go with that.
knows what needs to happen.
Okay.
If someone comes in and tells you need to fire these 3 people, well, you knew that before you call that person in to tell you that.
Well, yeah, but now I could blame Tony if she told me that. See, I could say, well, I hired Tony Harris and she came in and she told me what was wrong with the business. You guys are out.
That's it.
Right.
That's it. She's okay with that.
I'm okay with that. I'll be the fall girl.
Yeah, but what we were talking about is, Tony, if you came in and you really saw how a business could turn around, you've given that advice, and now the person won't take action on it.
Right. And there's nothing you can do at that point except try to coach them through it and figure out what the underlying reason is. And if it does come down to firing people, it's because they probably don't want to give up, the person's livelihood. So that's where the coach comes in to really get to the bottom of what the issue is. So, asking for help is a drastic step, but it is one that truly can pay off for you if you just step up and do it.
Okay, what would you say is step 2? If we're looking to stay on this track of motivating them to take these steps and to do things to turn their business around, what's number 2?
I believe that networking is the key to our success. And I know you guys do too.
Sure.
I was preaching to the choir here. But you say that a lot of people already know what they need to do. I actually want to disagree, because I find a lot of entrepreneurs who do not want to network.
But they know it's important.
I'm not sure they're convinced because their experience tells them, or they've never done it, so they're not convinced yet.
Mm-hmm.
The key is to take the first step and start to network. And you also got to network in the right places with the right people, because then you will have a bad taste in your mouth. If your market is doctors and you're hanging out with lawyers, it's not effective networking. So making sure that you network effectively is very important as well. But taking a drastic step and going out to network. So here's some of the advice I give my clients that don't want to network. Number 1, take somebody with you.
Again,
ask for help.
That's good.
Right?
That's absolutely
so,
good.
John, I call you up and say, I got this event and I'm a little nervous about going.
Sure.
So, would you mind going with me?
Right.
Sure.
And John's, of course, going to say yes because I make him look good.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You'll be my arm candy.
Oh, man. How, and the candor on this show.
But, you ask somebody to go with
Sure.
you, and that will help you to feel confident to be able to get out there and network. Here's the other thing I find. People belong to networking events that are national,
Right.
and they only network in their chapter. They don't attend other chapters. They
That's
don't
right.
go to the national convention. And so my other drastic step is to go to the national convention. My network expanded globally when I went to my first national convention.
Yeah, but I don't know anybody over there. I know everybody in my chapter.
You know everybody. Ask somebody in your chapter, because guess what? If you're in the same chapter, they need to go to the national convention as well, right?
That's right.
That's true.
Split the cost on the room.
No, that's true.
The whole night.
Sleep in the bathtub. No.
Right? Make it a group party. Hey.
Well, you know what, Tony, when I think about why many small business people do not network, it's almost like that fear of public speaking.
Mm-hmm.
They don't network because, we're trained and conditioned as young people not to talk to strangers.
Mm-hmm.
And even in our businesses, we tend to do things that are comfortable and routine for ourselves. And getting the nerve up to walk into a room where there may be 100 people who all have a relationship with, and you're the odd person out. I know that can be a daunting experience. However, how do you get that person to other than just taking someone in? Because I see people who come with someone they know and they stay attached at the hip to that someone all night long, and then you waste a good 2 hours networking, or rather not networking at a networking event.
Right.
How do you encourage them to walk up, introduce themselves confidently, ask other people what they do? What do you say?
Well, the first thing I say is I personally, if y'all can believe this, I actually have that issue sometimes. If I go to a group, I know y'all don't believe that.
No,
that is a real stretch. I'm sorry to be looking at you like this, Tony, but that is a real stretch. I have seen you in action. I have been at networking events with you.
But
and
that's
a
where
stretch.
I know people.
Okay.
So when
All
I
right.
go to an event where I don't know people, sometimes I get shy. You know what I end up doing? I do a lot of self-talk.
Okay. That's
Girl,
good.
you did not get dressed and drive over here to sit over here and not meet anybody.
That's good.
And I push myself. I do. It's not easy. I also find the friendliest looking person or someone I can compliment. A lady, when I find another lady that looks very nice, I will go tell her, because that's comfortable for me. So you don't want to waste your time, your energy, your effort, and your gas going to an event and coming out without networking or meeting anyone.
That's right.
So, yeah, I would just say do a lot of self-talk and push yourself if you're going alone.
Now, Tony, you speak publicly.
Absolutely.
And it's hard to believe that someone who does speak publicly is also a person who suffers from a little shyness from time to time, but it happens.
It does.
But I do have to ask, are you a member of Toastmasters or anything like that?
I have never had professional training speaking.
Really?
And so I actually have shied away from Toastmasters, but I've connected with some people who are at Toastmasters, and they convinced me I really should do it. But I've never had professional training speaking, and I'm afraid to do it because I'm afraid my personality, and they'll try to change me, and then I'm like, ugh.
Well, the truth is, with the levels of success that you have and have had, I'm wondering if there wouldn't be at least a couple of nuggets that you could. First of all, let me agree with you. You have every right to be concerned with how that could play against you. But I just keep thinking that with the levels of success you've had, maybe there might be a couple of things that you could pick up.
Absolutely. And I want to say that that's why I'm open to going now,
Sure.
because I believe we can always learn something. I'm not perfect.
Yeah.
Except at home in front of my husband. But I'm not perfect otherwise. So.
but you know, and the reason that I did bring that up is because my first sales job, I was a disaster. And my boss at the time told me that unless I joined Toastmasters, he was not going to keep me on because I was just entirely too nervous in front of the client. He said, John, you know this stuff when a client's not sitting here. But then all of a sudden a stranger walks in and you freeze up. And I have to admit, if you're one of those persons, Toastmasters would be a great option for you to help you get out of that shyness and help you understand how to start simple conversation with a perfect stranger.
Well, I'm speaking in front of 10,000 people on Saturday. Can you help me get unnervous about that?
Oh, yeah.
You're going to be fine.
Tony, when we come back, we got to talk about you speaking in front of 10,000 people and, more importantly, why you're doing that.
Okay.
All right, we're going to do that?
Yeah.
Okay, very cool. You're listening to Small Business Today with Hughes and Hughes. It's brought to you by RingCentral.com. To get RingCentral's virtual PBX for your business, you can call them today at 888-716-5022. More in a moment with Tony Harris right after this.
Turn up the sales on your website today with AnythingInternet.com. Anything Internet will evaluate your website for marketing power, for traffic, for conversion rates. We'll figure out why people buy and why people go away. We'll help you generate the correct traffic that will turn into customers and make you money. Turn the juice up on your website today with AnythingInternet.com. Turn your website into a web business. 1-800-686-5986.
Very often, people come to me saying,
Stephen, how do I make radio advertising work?
Or even worse,
We've tried radio ads before and got little to no response.
so how do you make the radio work for you? Well, you could have a clever jingle.
Come buy my stuff. Come buy my stuff.
Or you may act crazy and loud and have an unbeatable offer.
I'll save you cash, I'll save you time, and I'll do it today, guaranteed.
But these techniques may work for some and not for others. The real key to advertising is to go back to basic marketing principles. Target your ideal prospect, make your message clear and concise, and touch the listener by connecting to their needs. Stephen K. Media specializes in radio advertising promotion that effectively broadcasts your company's message, yielding higher response and better results. As an independent agency representing major talk radio stations, we help you negotiate rates and place your ads targeting your ideal prospect. Call us today at 713-278-9109 or visit stephenk.biz. That's 713-278-9109 or email info@stephenk.biz. Are you looking to improve your health and well-being? Have you lost your energy and vitality? Do you wake up feeling 10 years older than you actually are? Looking for a doctor who really listens? Looking for a natural alternative to your chronic health challenge? Dr. Dan Cuney is a chiropractic nutritionist who helps restore your health from the inside out using whole food supplements and specific nutritional counseling. Learn more about Dr. Dan's 7 Pillars of Health on his website, drdancuney.com, or give him a call at 713-295-9358.
Introducing the alternative to heavy news. Now at,
Excuse me, heavy news?
you know, disasters, politics, stock market.
And this alternative is...
Coffee news. It's entertaining stories, famous quotes, and family fun. It's light news. Why it's so light, it's free.
Free?
In restaurants and coffee shops all across Houston. So next time you're waiting in a restaurant, look for coffee news. If they don't have it, tell them to get it by visiting coffeenewshouston.com.
It's light. It's free. It's coffee news.
Now playing at Regal Entertainment Group Theaters.
From Christopher Nolan. The storm's coming. The legend ends in IMAX. What are you? I'm Gotham Reckoning. The Dark Knight Rises. Rated PG-13. Visit IMAX.com for showtimes and listings.
Go to www.regmovies.com to find showtimes and buy your tickets to this and other great feature films now. That's www.regmovies.com.
You're listening to Small Business Today with Cruz and Hughes. Follow us on LinkedIn, Facebook, and Twitter. We're wherever you are.
Okay, welcome back to the show. Our guest today is Miss Tony Harris, the Turnaround Queen. If you'd like to connect with Tony, you can go to her business website at Tony, Toni-Harris, Tony-Harris.com. Again, that's Tony, Toni, Tony-Harris.com. Today we're talking about the 4 drastic steps to turn your business around. These are steps that Tony believes are easy enough for you to take to get you started, to start seeing a difference or a change in your business or the way that you do business. Now, we talked about number 1, which was ask for help. We covered number 2, which is network bigger. And that means do more of it. Get out there, meet people. Don't be shy. Shake hands. You're only one handshake away from your next $1 million deal. And number 3, you would say is?
Number 3 was network effectively. And so one of the things that I teach my clients about networking is don't try to work the room. Don't deal your business cards out like playing cards. We are not there to date and all that stuff. We are there to do business.
And stay focused on that.
And stay focused on that. Now, when I say to do business, I don't want you to pull out your brochures and sell a person on the spot either. Mm-hmm. So there is a art
and
to
etiquette
network
even.
And an etiquette to networking effectively. I set a goal, depending on the size of the group, but average 3 to 5 people is all I want to connect with. Mm-hmm. And what I mean by connecting is that I then want to do a one-on-one with them, sit down, really get to know them, find out who they are, what they do, and how I can support them. Did you hear me? How I can support them.
So meaning how you can give first to the relationship.
Absolutely. In turn, though, typically, they want to know how they can support me as well. Now, when I go up to someone and we chit-chat and what do you do, who are you, and then we find out there's a connection, when I ask them, let's sit down for coffee at a later time, how many people are going to say no? Everybody says yes because they're there for the same reason. And when you ask about being shy about going to an event, remember, everybody's there for the same reason you are.
That's right, to meet new and interesting people that could potentially help them along in their business.
That's right.
And that they could also help as well.
Absolutely. And so when you go, then what I do is pull out my phone and my calendar right then. That's a drastic step. But I say, let's schedule it now.
Yeah, while I have you in front of me.
Right. What do people say to that? How do they respond to that, Tony?
They're good with that.
Really?
I have not had anyone, unless they don't have their calendar, say, let's not. Because who wants to follow up?
Yeah.
Truthfully, who wants to go back home, sit down and write emails or pick up the phone to call the same person you just was with?
Right.
Yeah.
So we just open our calendar. We
set it right then.
Right then and there.
I like that.
And it's a drastic step to do that because people are they are caught off guard. But yeah, let's do it.
Why not? Let's go ahead and set it now.
Absolutely.
Yeah, especially if we say there's value there.
Truthfully, and then if they hem and haw and then they didn't want to meet with you anyway, and they were going to dodge your call, and so you've just saved yourself a bunch of time, headache, and energy.
But I like that. I mean, if you're serious about getting together, if you're serious about doing the things that you say you're going to do, then why not set it right now? I love that.
I typically leave a networking appointment with at least 5 appointments.
That's awesome.
Now, something else that you mentioned. I hate lunch. I think lunch is a total waste of time. That's just me. That's my feeling. And if someone says, John, let's meet for lunch, I always say I don't have time for lunch, but I can meet you for coffee. And you mentioned coffee, so to me that even speaks about the relationship in terms of, hey, I know we're just getting to know one another. I'm not going to tie your entire day up, eating and all that. Let's just meet for coffee, sit down and chit chat, and see where we go from there. Now, I like that much better than lunch.
Well, I love lunch.
I do too, but
I'm not gonna lie. I love lunch.
I prefer to eat alone, not discuss business.
Okay, here we go.
Not discuss business.
I was waiting. I was waiting for the hook
with a big mouth of pasta or something like that. To me, I just rather, hey, let's talk over coffee. That way, it's clean, it's neat,
and it's short.
It's short.
If you find out there is no connection, you can get out of there within 20 minutes.
Absolutely, and I'm not waiting on somebody to bring me a well done steak or something.
I'm with you on that.
Okay, well, John, just say you don't want to. You'd rather not talk about business. You want to enjoy your lunch.
I want to enjoy my lunch, and I just have I have this thing about not eating in front of people that you're trying to have a conversation with.
Yeah.
It's someone that I don't know that well.
Mm-hmm.
To me, it's just so many things could go wrong. I get something stuck in my teeth. I can knock over iced tea on them. I could spit a portion of my salad in their plate.
John is clumsy. Don't eat with John.
Oh, man.
Stick to coffee. I think coffee works much
You're
better.
You're going to go have lunch with John Cruz, suit up.
Actually, my fourth drastic step, that leads right into it.
Okay.
So the other thing that I've been doing is taking my one-on-ones over Skype.
Okay.
Or Uvu.
Technology.
Using technology in my business, saving me time, gas, money, spending money on coffee and pastries I don't need to eat.
Yeah.
And so when I make those appointments at the networking event, I ask, do you prefer in person or are you open to doing Skype? That's cool. I'm amazed at how many people are starting to say they like the idea of doing Skype.
Sure. Interesting.
Sure.
And there is still a face-to-face connection.
Right. Now, are more people saying that because of, do you think that's being driven by gas prices and that kind of thing? Or do you think that people
No, it's been driven by me, actually.
Oh, okay.
Because I suggested, they think they like, I hadn't thought about that. Yeah. But when you do Skype appointments, you can do them back to back.
That's true.
They're 30 minutes,
That's
and you
true.
don't have to drive anywhere.
I
and
really
you really
like that.
don't have to get cute too much. A little bit.
I was just saying,
at least from the waist up.
From the waist up.
At least from the waist up. But I really like that. It saves time. It gets to the point. And when you think about it, how many more people would probably be even more inclined to sit down and talk with you for 15 or 20 or 30 minutes if I could do it from the comfort of my office and I don't have to invest the time of travel and all of that. I love that idea.
But I also use Skype to network globally. I've had calls in Paris, Belgium, France by using the internet tools. So my tip number 4 is use the technology tools that are available to you and free to your best benefit.
Now, other than Skype, Tony, what are some of those other tools?
Well, social media, of course. You know, and I'm still amazed how many business people are not using social media.
Absolutely.
So that's actually a drastic step for some people. And not overdoing the social media. Doing blogging. Blogging is a big deal now. And that was drastic for me. It took me 2 years to get on the blogging bandwagon.
Tell me why it took so long.
Because I didn't feel like, because I don't really go search and read blogs. I felt like
Who's
people
doing
wouldn't read mine,
right?
And that it might be a waste of time. But what I didn't realize is that once I put a blog post up there, then I share that in my social media, and that's what gets me the credibility and the phone calls that people are interested in hearing me speak.
Wow,
that's awesome. Awesome.
I tell you what, you got 4 steps. I'm going to go back and do a recap. Number 1, ask for help. Number 2, network bigger, meaning that get out there and do more of it. Number 3, network effectively. Know where to go and who to talk to. Keep in mind the etiquette that's associated with networking. As Tony said, it's not an opportunity for you to just hand out your business card as though they were playing cards. Be resourceful and be respectful of who you network with. And number 4, Tony, you said use technology and the tools to help you get the job done in your business. And, I really love the point when you said that you didn't think other people would read it because it's not something that you have the time to do. But I think that it could be said also that we are not our customer.
Right.
We are not the people that we serve. And just because my schedule is so busy and so inundated that I don't have time to read, but there's so many people that would love to hear what Tony Harris has to say. And if you could say it in a blog post, they would be more than willing to read it. I love that.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
That's a good point.
Those steps will help you to build your network and be more successful in your business. So.
Okay. The book is Sometimes You Have to Take a Drastic Step. Now, what I'd like to do is talk a little bit about some of the drastic steps that you've had to take in your business, because when people see Tony Harris and you are always impeccably dressed, your makeup is always perfect. I believe that you probably go to bed that way. But the thing is that we all have our struggles as well. Now, one of the things is that you recently went back to school. You're graduating from college this week. So I want to say congratulations on that.
Congratulations for Cruz and Hughes.
Yeah, congratulations. And you're giving the commencement to over 10,000 people.
Tony.
That's huge.
Tony, how many people graduate and get to do their own commencement?
That's huge.
Now, let me go ahead and be frank. Are you nervous?
Heck yeah. Heck yeah. So, but it's one of those things, you feel the fear and you walk through it anyway. And one of the ways you overcome the fear is by being prepared. And I'm ready. I am.
That
ready.
is awesome. Tony, one of the things that one of my old coaches told me, when I first started doing public speaking, one of the things I always told him, I said, I'm always so nervous and I have these butterflies. And he would always tell me the same thing. He would always say, Irvin, the minute you don't have butterflies, you need to sit down.
That's right.
Because now you don't care.
That's right.
And he just said, listen, it's all right to have the butterflies, but you have to make them fly in formation. and I still hang on to that till this day. It's okay to have butterflies, just make them fly in formation.
That's right. Well, it's an honor, and I'm just so excited. After 28 years of graduating from high school, I'm finally getting that piece of paper that somebody says we need. I'm not sure we need it, but I am getting it.
But it was a personal goal of yours,
and
obviously.
It was a dream. It's a dream.
When we come back, I want to know why you decided to go back after so many years.
I will tell lot of people. You can help a lot of people with that, folks. We're listening to Tony Harris here on Cruz and Hughes Radio. And by the way, folks, if you have not gotten the opportunity to download your free trial copy of Sales Nexus, you can do so at salesnexus.com. More in a moment with Tony Harris right after this.
Turn up the sales on your website today with anythinginternet.com. Anything Internet will evaluate your website for marketing power, for traffic, for conversion rates. We'll figure out why people buy and why people go away. We'll help you generate the correct traffic that will turn into customers and make you money. Turn the juice up on your website today with anythinginternet.com. Turn your website into a web business. 1-800-686-5986.
Very often, people come to me saying,
Steven, how do I make radio advertising work?
Or even worse,
we've tried radio ads before and got little to no response.
So how do you make the radio work for you? Well, you could have a clever jingle.
Come buy my stuff. Come buy my stuff.
Or you may act crazy and loud and have an unbeatable offer.
I'll save you cash, I'll save you time, and I'll do it today, guaranteed.
But these techniques may work for some and not for others. The real key to advertising is to go back to basic marketing principles. Target your ideal prospect, make your message clear and concise, and touch the listener by connecting to their needs. Stephen K. Media specializes in radio advertising promotion that effectively broadcasts your company's message, yielding higher response and better results. As an independent agency representing major talk radio stations, we help you negotiate rates and place your ads targeting your ideal prospect. Call us today at 713-278-9109 or visit stephenk.biz. That's 713-278-9109 or email info@stephenk.biz. Are you looking to improve your health and well-being? Have you lost your energy and vitality? Do you wake up feeling 10 years older than you actually are? Looking for a doctor who really listens? Looking for a natural alternative to your chronic health challenge? Dr. Dan Cuny is a chiropractic nutritionist who helps restore your health from the inside out using whole food supplements and specific nutritional counseling. Learn more about Dr. Dan's 7 Pillars of Health on his website, drdancuny.com, or give him a call at 713-295-9358.
Introducing the alternative to heavy news. Now,
Excuse me, heavy news?
you know, disasters, politics, stock market.
And this alternative is
Coffee news. It's entertaining stories, famous quotes, and family fun. It's light news. Why it's so light, it's free.
free.
In restaurants and coffee shops all across Houston. So next time you're waiting in a restaurant, look for coffee news. If they don't have it, tell them to get it by visiting coffeenewshouston.com.
It's light. It's free. It's coffee news.
Now playing at Regal Entertainment Group Theaters.
From Christopher Nolan. The storm's coming. The legend ends in IMAX. What are you? I'm just directed. The Dark Knight Rises. Rated PG-13. Visit IMAX.com for showtimes and listings.
Go to www.regmovies.com to find showtimes and buy your tickets to this and other great feature films now. That's www.regmovies.com.
You're listening to Small Business Today. Visit us on the web at cruiseandhughes.com. Here are your hosts, Cruz and Hughes.
Okay, welcome back to the show. Our guest today is Miss Tony Harris, the turnaround queen. Tony is the author of a book called Sometimes You Have to Take a Drastic Step. If you want to connect with Tony, you can go to her website, tony-harris.com, and that's Toni, Tony-harris.com. Now, Tony, you talked about the fact that you're graduating from college this week. What made you go back after so many years?
Well, the book is actually titled Sometimes You Have to Take a Drastic Step to Turn Your Life Around.
Okay.
So it's not just business, it's life. And this was a life decision. Like a lot of people, I got laid off. I worked for an AIG company. I was doing a job that I loved, making six figures as a high school graduate. And they laid me off, and I decided to start looking for a new job in the same salary bracket, and they were like, you don't have a degree. And so I figured out that very quickly that looking for a six-figure income without a degree was that doesn't happen.
Difficult.
Yeah, it's more than difficult. It's impossible. But University of Phoenix called me. I probably was on a job board or something. And what really sold me on going to that school is that they had their classes last 5 weeks. I had to go one night a week for 4 hours for 5 weeks. Then I moved to the next class.
Oh, wow.
I did not want to sit in a traditional semester with kids with pants hanging down while I was there. But, and they cater.
These are professionals
they
mostly.
They cater to adults.
Yeah.
Right.
And so it really worked for me. And I went on ground and online. And so, it's been phenomenal. And I did it with a lot of obstacles. And I could have quit, should have quit. A lesser person would have quit.
Surely.
But I stuck it out. I finished a year early because they let you test out. And I took advantage of every opportunity. And that's the other thing, with business. When somebody puts an opportunity in front of you, take advantage of it.
Mm-hmm.
The first day of class, they said you can test out of some of your classes, and it only cost you $90. I was like, ding, ding, ding.
Well, let's do those. Yeah.
I tested out and got credit for 30 hours.
Wow.
Well, I want to say congratulations because I know that is an accomplishment, especially when you run a business, you're married, life happens, and for you to take that time out to do that is an accomplishment, and I applaud you for doing so.
Thank you.
Now, let's talk about your radio show. You do a radio show as well on Blog Talk.
I do.
Tell us a little bit about your format.
So my radio show just got restarted. I did it for a year, took a break, and I'm back. I missed it that much. And my format, first of all, you can hear it every Friday from 9 to 10 a.m. If you go to drasticstepswithtonyharris.com, there's a link there to listen live. And the format is I do a short monologue, which I'm really excited about this format because it's different for me. But I do a short monologue up front, and then I have one or two guests. And then at the end, for the last 10 to 15 minutes, I do a Talk to Tony segment. Where people can either email their coaching questions, and it's life coaching, just business, professional, personal, and financial questions because of my financial background. And so it's really exciting because I've had callers every week that I've started it and actually giving live advice. So yeah, it's really exciting.
Cool.
It is very
cool.
But
and we didn't talk about your financial background. You were a financial planner or certified financial planner for
I was a financial advisor.
Advisor.
I wasn't a CFP, but I had did it long enough. I managed advisors, trained, coached, and I was an advisor for over 12 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so I know that there are a lot of people who still need that fiscal advice.
Absolutely. And part of my coaching practice is to coach people on their finances. So when I have group coaching and I have individual coaching. My individual coaching is kind of a la carte menu. You can choose personal, professional, or financial, or mix them up.
Mm-hmm.
And then I have a group coaching program as well.
Okay.
Tony, do people buy things that they don't need?
Irv. Yes.
But if they have goals though, financially, why would they? How do they justify? Or do you run across people who justify why they're spending the money they're spending that has nothing to do with their goal?
Absolutely. Instant gratification is what it's
Oh,
called. Yeah, instant. They want it now. Whatever it is they're buying now, they want that
Well, it's
now
the
because it's
American
going to
way.
make them feel good now.
Yeah.
The goal is distant, may or may not get there, and so they want the instant gratification, and that's why they put their goals to the side and buy hair instead. I'm just saying. Don't ask me how I know.
Oh, wow.
Well, the thing is that we talk about habits, and when you're talking about drastic steps, it really is breaking some of these habits that we formed
Sure.
Absolutely.
that are keeping us from our highest and best performance.
Absolutely.
And I know that takes time with different people.
Absolutely. I
And-
mean, I've been through it myself, and I'm not perfect. We all struggle with
Right.
Sure.
what we know we should be doing and what we're doing.
That's right.
And so, but the key is, again, your coach is good to help you to stay on track.
Mhm.
Your accountability partner, if you don't have a coach, and then a lot of self-talk. I'm telling you, y'all probably think I was a little insane if you
No,
were
no.
in on some of the questions that me and Antoinette were having on a regular basis.
Oh, is that
That's
your
my paycheck name.
Yeah.
So
Antoinette?
Antoinette.
Now, tell me, who would hire you? Give me an idea of who your client is. Who should
Well-
consider hiring you?
Well, I'm working a lot with women entrepreneurs. That's just a natural market for me. Although I work with everybody's money's green, so men money will come too. But it's usually solopreneurs who really need that push
Mhm.
to get outside of their comfort zone, to get unstuck and get into action, doing things that they just typically would not do left to their own devices.
Yeah.
And so speakers, authors, people who need to market themselves. I think I've done a decent job of marketing myself. I've learned a lot. And so it's that solopreneur that needs a partner. And I am that partner. I provide resources. I'm not like a lot of coaches who hold their resources and their network close to the vest.
Right.
No, I open my network to my clients. So I want to see them successful.
I have to add to that. When I first started doing a radio show, I was on a news station when I met you.
Mm-hmm.
And the first thing you asked me was, how can I help your business? How can I help you? And I told you, well, I need some other qualified guests. Tony immediately pulled out her phone and started just going down the list and giving me all of these people and saying, hey, call them, use my name, get them on the show. And I really applaud you for that. And I think it's a testament to the type of coach and person that you are.
And that is what I do. And I connect people all over the country now. And so I'm very excited. I'm growing my network. I'm having an event in Dallas. So if anybody's in the Dallas area listening, having an event October the 4th. It'll be an intimate networking event, but I'm really growing my network nationally so that I'll have the resources to share with my clients.
I love it. Why Dallas? Really quickly.
Because it's in driving distance and my husband can make that trip.
Okay.
Well, that's all right. Now, Tony, you've got this Global Business Boot Camp coming up also. Is that right?
Actually, I've changed the name.
Oh, okay.
And it is from drastic to fantastic.
Okay, turn it around. Okay.
There you go.
Drastic. Oh, from drastic to fantastic. Okay. When we come back, we're going to talk about this. I want you to talk about what you're going to do here at this event, all right?
All right.
Okay, you're listening to Small Business Today with Cruz and Hughes. It's brought to you by Small Business Today magazine. Stay with us. We're in the home stretch. We'll be right back.
Turn up the sales on your website today with anythinginternet.com. Anything Internet will evaluate your website for marketing power, for traffic, for conversion rates. We'll figure out why people buy and why people go away. We'll help you generate the correct traffic that will turn into customers and make you money. Turn the juice up on your website today with anythinginternet.com. Turn your website into a web business. 1-800-686-5986.
Very often, people come to me saying,
Stephen, how do I make radio advertising work?
or even worse,
We've tried radio ads before and got little to no response.
so how do you make the radio work for you? Well, you could have a clever jingle.
Come buy my stuff. Come buy my stuff.
Or you may act crazy and loud and have an unbeatable offer.
I'll save you cash, I'll save you time, and I'll do it today, guaranteed.
But these techniques may work for some and not for others. The real key to advertising is to go back to basic marketing principles. Target your ideal prospect, make your message clear and concise, and touch the listener by connecting to their needs. Stephen K. Media specializes in radio advertising promotion that effectively broadcasts your company's message, yielding higher response and better results. As an independent agency representing major talk radio stations, we help you negotiate rates and place your ads targeting your ideal prospect. Call us today at 713-278-9109 or visit stephenk.biz. That's 713-278-9109 or email info@stephenk.biz. Are you looking to improve your health and well-being? Have you lost your energy and vitality? Do you wake up feeling 10 years older than you actually are? Looking for a doctor who really listens? Looking for a natural alternative to your chronic health challenge? Dr. Dan Cuny is a chiropractic nutritionist who helps restore your health from the inside out using whole food supplements and specific nutritional counseling. Learn more about Dr. Dan's 7 Pillars of Health on his website, drdancuny.com, or give him a call at 713-295-9358.
Introducing the alternative to heavy news. Now at,
Excuse me, heavy news?
you know, disasters, politics, stock market.
And this alternative is?
Coffee news. It's entertaining stories, famous quotes, and family fun. It's light news. Why it's so light, it's free.
Free?
In restaurants and coffee shops all across Houston. So next time you're waiting in a restaurant, look for coffee news. If they don't have it, tell them to get it by visiting coffeenewshouston.com.
It's light. It's free. It's coffee news.
Now playing at Regal Entertainment Group Theaters.
From Christopher Nolan.
The storm's coming.
The legend ends in IMAX. What are you? I'm Captain Dracula. The Dark Knight Rises. Rated PG-13. Visit IMAX.com for showtimes and listings.
Go to www.regmovies.com to find showtimes and buy your tickets to this and other great feature films now. That's www.regmovies.com.
You're listening to Small Business Today with Cruz and Hughes. Follow us on LinkedIn, Facebook, and Twitter. We're wherever you are.
Welcome back to the show. Our guest today is Miss Toni Harris, the turnaround queen. If you want to connect with Toni, you can go to toni-harris.com. That's TONI-harris.com. Toni has written a book. It's called Sometimes You Have to Take a Drastic Step to Change Your Life.
To turn your life around.
To turn your life around. Toni, where can people find the book?
At the website.
At your website. Okay. And Toni also has a radio show that airs on Fridays from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. And the show is titled also Drastic Steps with Toni Harris.
That's it.
All right. Now, we were talking about an event that you have coming up.
Actually, it is a coaching program. It's a group coaching program. It starts November the 5th, and it is from drastic to fantastic. Drastic is an acronym, and it's 7 steps to make 6 figures now. And so if you want more information, you can call me directly at 713-387-9273, and I'm really excited about this program and looking for participant.
If you missed any portion of this interview, don't worry. You can always go to cruzandhughes.com and listen to it in its entirety. And you can get Toni's information from our website as well. And is this event here in Houston, or your coaching?
Actually, this is over the internet.
Oh, it's over the internet.
So you will,
again, using
Very
technology.
cool.
That's it. And it is, you'll be able to expand your resources so that my current participants are from Dallas, Austin, and Houston right now, but expect California to be in the mix next time.
Wow.
Train in your pajamas.
That's it. I love it.
Well, Toni, we do appreciate you for coming on the show.
Thank you.
We're going to have you back sometime soon.
All right.
All right.
I want to be a regular.
All right, we're going to have you a regular.
Awesome. Guys, we want to thank you for tuning in to Small Business Today with Cruz and Hughes. I'm John Cruz.
I'm Irv Hughes.
And this is the place where we discuss the topics that inspires entrepreneurs from thought to action. Until tomorrow, be smart, be successful, and above all else,
be in action.
Irv and I will see you tomorrow.